Hey my friends, Shawn here from theautomationblog.com, and in today's episode of the Automation Podcast, I sit down with Ramey Miller from Siemens to get an overview of their basic panel HMI line. Ramey, thank you for putting this together. I'm excited to learn about the Siematic basic HMI line. I know you guys sent me a starter kit that had one in. I've used it a little bit, but I'm really looking forward to getting this overview of your product line.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the time today. The topic we are going to talk about is the Siematic Basic HMI panel offering that Siemens has. So first, just to get a baseline, the Siemens portfolio for HMIs spans from simple applications to more complex application solution sets. And the basic panel offering has been designed to be that optimum performance with the application complexity levels that we'd usually see at an intro or a real simple applicational stance. The basic HMIs fall in with that same kind of power with the key panels that we have. And then as the complexity increases and the horsepower that's required for your HMIs increases, we introduced the comfort panel lines with the mobile panels and some other variants of the comfort panels. And then at the very high end of the spectrum, we go to a more PC-based application, PC solution with the runtime running on a Windows or Linux operating system. So for the most complex systems out there, we would go to a PC-based solution. But for today, we're going to just focus in on the basic panels and see what we've got there. In short, there's a handful of panels that we have, everything from a 4-inch screen all the way up to a 12-inch display. All of these come with a membrane keypads, buttons that can be programmed in to be used during runtime. These all have a Profinet or network cable connectivity solution set built with them. The 7-inch and the 12-inch, if you notice, there's a DP or Profibus variant allowed or available for us. This is it's really an either or when it looks at those. So we have instead of just seeing 3 or 4 product offerings here, we actually have 6 total product offerings where there's a KPT 700 with Profibus or serial communication capabilities, or you would choose the KTP 700 with the Profinet or network capability. But we did standardize on the Profinet or Ethernet communication port across our product line for easy communication to both our controllers and third-party controllers as well. Just diving into a little bit more on the back side or what we see as far as connectivity points on the panels themselves. These are all 24-volt DC supplied systems, so you would need to supply 24 volts to these panels for operation during runtime. They all come standard with a USB port. These are typically used for either increasing memory usage or system recovery and updating of the systems. So you can perform an operating system or a project update through the USB port itself. And you can also connect an external mouse or keyboard to these systems as well with the use of the USB port. And then there is a slot for a memory card, an SD memory card on the side of these. Again, similar functionality as the USB, additional memory, system restore and recovery, and another location for you to push some logs to or some data logged during runtime. When it comes to actually programming the basic panels, the software suite that we have is called WinCC. The associated level of software that's required to configure an engineering system and configure an actual basic panel would be the WinCC basic software. The WinCC software suite does reside and work with the TIA, Totally Integrated Automation Portal software that Siemens has. So this WinCC software exists inside the same suite where the Step 7 software would reside as well for configuring Siemens PLCs. So your entire configuration and set up for your projects can be all in one environment so that you can easily transfer information or set up communication of tags and everything else within the TIA portal suite. But the basic panels themselves would only require the WinCC basic level of software to unlock that feature and add-on within TIA portal. One thing to note, if you already have Step 7 Basic Professional or a level of Step 7 software within TI portal, you've already got the WinCC Basic software suite installed and the ability to configure basic panels within your projects already. That's sort of an add-on bonus. Once you step into the Step 7 world, we essentially unlock the functionality and the configuration capabilities of the basic panels to you in the TIA portal. And part of being in the portal suite allows us the scalability and the flexibility as your project grows in complexity. There's the ability to move from a basic panel up to comfort and advanced solution sets. And that's where you would just need to add on the next level of WinCC software that's required. So if you wanted to migrate or go to a comfort panel, you would need to then get the WinCC Comfort software suite. That would be installed over top of everything, and it would just unlock the next level of panels within our projects. So everything's within the TIA portal, and Basic comes with Step 7, but Basic is the key word and the operable word for configuring and using the basic panels that we have. Rounding out some of the good highlights that we actually have that really puts some strength of our product line in the market is that use of the efficiency and engineering capabilities within TIA portal. Being a part of that TIA portal suite does allow us to be a part of that one engineering framework for all of your applications in automation. So this really does bring a lot of speed and efficiency to configuring your systems up because now you can share tags between HMIs and PLCs within the TIA world. So it's now connections are very easily to obtain between controller and HMI, and the data flow of the alarming and everything else is all built into the backside of the system, so it's a lot easier to configure, speeding your time for engineering. These are ideally a panel for the 1200 family, which is our entry level or basic panel or PLCs themselves. So the S7 1200s really do marry themselves well with the basic panels as far as complexity of systems. So a lot of our typical end users will have a 1200 with a basic panel in most applications just because they're both the proper level of strength and capability amongst the two devices. And again, because the 1200s, 1500s reside in the engineering suite of TI Portal, again, we're just all a part of that TI Portal world. All of these screens do have a high resolution display in widescreen. So we've got 64,000 colors. Again, the screen size is ranging from 4 inches to 12 inches in size. So just a nice, brilliant display to get the operator's attention if there's something you need to draw their attention to, or just allow them to have a good interface for user comfort and ease of use. And again, with the use of the USB plug, we do have easy data logging and alarm logging capabilities with that USB port. So just a lot of powerful features built into the what we would consider a basic applicational solution. Again, some more core functionality that we have across the basic panel offering is we do have alarming capabilities of receiving alarms, setting up alarms, so you can monitor tags within the HMI, and as the controllers are sending you tag information, you can actually have alarms tagged or triggered off within your environment. So we do have a good alarming system built into these panels. We also have the possibility of having trend views and trend control objects on the screens to where you can start to essentially trace different tag information elements during runtime, so you can actually see on a plotted line of how your performance is doing of certain tags and seeing what kind of responses are happening on your system during these trends. We do have recipes. We support recipes between the PLCs and the HMI. Recipes are typically used for batching or for when applications need to have preset configuration variables pulled from a database, or not necessarily a database, but a preset up log of memory, where you want to make sure that you're always pulling that, essentially that recipe into the system. So we've got a recipe management system built into the basic PLC, or basic HMIs and controllers. We do natively speak to our Siemens PLCs over Profinet. We do also have the Profibus in those two variant sizes of 7 and 12 inch. But in addition to talking to our own Siemens controllers, we do have third-party communication drivers built into these devices. So if you've got Ethernet IP or Omron, Mitsubishi, we do have, or Modbus TCP, we do have those drivers built in to open up those doors of communication to third-party devices at the same time. We do have a good system diagnostics view or control object that really does help when you do marry it with a Siemens PLC. All of the system diagnostics information that you would be getting, like let's say a wire break on an analog channel, or a remote I/O point has failed to communicate. A lot of those are system level diagnostics information that you would be gathering on the controller side of things. Well, we can pull all of that through and up to a running list on the screens during runtime, with pretty much just putting the object on the screen and establishing a connection to the controller through the configuration. It's very easy to get all of that system level diagnostics up to your HMI with minimal effort or engineering from the controller, the configuration side of things. And then again, we've got logging of tags and additional storage to memory on the sticks themselves. Just to highlight how some of the graphics looks on the screens, we've taken some time to make sure that the graphics look pretty good, and that we've got a good refined look that's not just your plain 2D sort of look to an applicational environment. So we've got some good graphics where you can customize the colors, you can customize your theme, so to speak. So you can have a darker theme, you can put custom colors to it. If you've got a traditional color palette that you use within your organization, you can actually create that theme or style, as we call it, with NTI Portal, and you can actually apply that style to all of your screen elements once you define that, the rules of how you need to have the colors and everything displayed on the screen. So a lot of flexibility with our screen objects, and a lot of flexibility within them to allow better user interfacing. A little bit more detail again on the screen items. I mentioned we have trend view, so where you can attach certain tag variables to this trend to watch them and watch them come through live during production. So if you want to watch and see, what's your motor speed running up to, and is it based off of other digital inputs coming in, you can be tracing all of those in the trend view. A very simple illustration that's an object that's just pulled from our toolbox, put onto the screen and sized appropriately, and then you just configure up on the back side which tags you want to be watching and the trend and everything. The buttons are, again, from our library or our toolbox. A lot of configuration variations to these buttons. Gradiencies, sizing, shadings. You can really customize those to bring out more depth to your interface as well. And then you can assign a lot of events behind the buttons. So you can, if you wanted to have something detect when it's pressed, when it's released, when it's being held down, all the kind of event level triggers and events can be have other system functionalities built in behind them. And then we've got our typical gauges, some clocks, some sliders for you to control other analog values or other input variables that you want to have via sliders. Again, the next row here, the system diagnostics, recipe, and alarm views. These look like complex graphical objects. These are all things built into our toolbox, so it's very easy to utilize and implement into your projects via just dragging this object from the toolbox in the engineering environment, putting it on the screen, and then attaching a couple of control interfacing points or data points to these objects to make them function. So again, just highlighting our key features and benefits. 64,000 colors on a widescreen display. These are also dimmable, so you can actually dim and adjust your brightness level during runtime. A nice interface with the USB. You can pull in and use mice if you need to, keyboards, and having the USB stick become actually a logging location, additional memory location, and then really a lot of people have used the USB stick for the system restores, passing project updates to locations in the field. They don't have to get somebody out there into the field and actually plug in a computer to it. They can actually do a system restore or a project update via the USB stick. So remote management of systems becomes a lot easier too with the use of the USB stick. And then again, we've got Profinet, Profibus standard on our devices. So we've got a perfect connectivity and communication to our S7 1200 and 1500 PLC family. But we can't leave out the fact that there's a lot of times where these panels get communicating to third-party controllers, and that's where we've built in the communication drivers for Schneider, Rockwell, Omron, and Mitsubishi controllers, just to name a few of them. So we're not just limited to the Siemens controllers, but we've also taken in account the desire sometimes that the application needs to have communication to these other third-party PLCs. Again, a lot of power packed into the basic panels, so there's just a lot to be had with these and a lot to be accomplished with these panels. If you're interested in getting your hands on some of this hardware, we do have starter kits available. We have married the starter kits with a 1200 and a basic panel. The basic panels the starter kits are available with multiple sizes of HMIs to choose from, or a variation of the 1200s to choose from as well. These starter kits do come with that Step 7 basic software, which gives you that WinCC basic access to develop the software for the HMIs. The starter kits are a great way for you to get the hardware, explore the hardware, and see how this functionality fits into your applications.
Yeah, we have one here in-house. It's great. I can highly recommend it. We actually unboxed it on an episode of the Automation Show. I'll put that on the screen if anybody wants to go see what it looks like. But it's a great, very affordable kit for anybody looking at getting started with these products.
All right, and for future podcasts to come, I hope to have some more additional information on our next level, our more advanced controllers or comfort panels. The comfort panel overview, as you can see, a little bit more variants to choose from, but there's a lot more features, functionality built into the comfort panels, so there's a little bit more in-depth information that we can get and show some of the power of the comfort panels and how they align with the systems as well. We also have the whole mobile panel family. You can see that one varies from 4-inch all the way up to a 10-inch display. These are all tethered mobile panels that have built-in e-stops that can either be Profi-safe or hardwired solutions. So a very robust mobile panel that can be tethered to your systems for the exposure into the environments. And then we also have our Comfort Pro family. The Pro is essentially short for protected. These are IP65 rated panels with a couple of different configurations, being either in a swing arm mount or from a pedestal mount, but these are fully enclosed. You don't have to mount them onto a control box. They do have extension units on that are available for you to put additional push buttons or other RFID readers, etc., onto these. So the Comfort Pro family is a great solution when you don't really have the space for a control box to mount a panel into, but you've got a swing arm and you want to utilize that aspect of it. The IP65 Comfort Pros are great. And then additional special requirements. If you've got food and beverage, pharmaceutical, where inox level panels are required. We've got stainless steel front, glass front, inox panels available, and then we also have the outdoor exposed daylight readable panel option as well, which is a comfort outdoor panel. These are great for displays for in sunny environments. They are designed to be mounted outside in the elements. You don't need to have another cover shield over top of them. They can be rained on, snowed on, and they can be mounted onto a box in the middle of a field if you wanted to. So a lot of variations that we have in the special requirements. I hope to talk to you about those in the future as well. Again, I appreciate your time today, allowing me to talk about the basic panels from Siemens. Follow me on LinkedIn, and I look forward to talking to you in the future.
Ramey, if somebody wanted to learn more about these comfort panels, I know you get the link on there for the HMIs from Siemens. Do you guys also have like sample projects or kind of like labs to teach you how to use different features?
We do have a lot of sample projects, sample examples out there. A lot of it's through our Siemens support site, Siemens Industrial Online Support website. We've got a forum on our website as well, where you can go in and dive into the actual products and talk to other engineers and find out some things. But through our support site, we do have what we call FAQs, or application examples. People can go out and download. Let's say you want to see how to set up recipes in their panel. We've got application examples of setting up recipes for the panels and PLCs to function into your systems. So there's a lot of utility out there at the industrial support site, Siemens Industrial Support site that we have.
Excellent, thank you. And thank you for putting this together. Really appreciate that walk through the line. You gave me a lot of ideas of things that I can do with the kit I have, but I really want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to put this presentation together.
Well, thank you, I appreciate it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that overview of the Siemens basic panel line. I know I did, and I want to thank Ramey again for taking time out of his busy week to give us that product overview. Now, with that said, if you'd like to help support the show and help us make more episodes, then consider a small monthly pledge over at patreon.com/automation, where you can unlock free stuff as well as insider news. That said, you can also support the show by buying some of our merch. We have new t-shirts, coffee cups, phone cases, and more over at theautomationblog.com/shop. With that said, I just want to wish you all a very happy, healthy, and safe week. And until next time, my friends, peace.